Up until a few days ago, one of my biggest pet peeves was my kids' what-if scenarios. For example, they would say stuff like, what if nobody had homework ever? Or, what if all the schools in the country burned down and we had to go to school from home? Or even try this one. What if ice cream was mandatory at every meal? These silly what-if questions have almost driven me to a state of two kinds of crazy. But I must admit that after much thought, I've come to realize that everything around us, without exception, had to have been created by someone's what-if scenario. For instance, the Wright brothers. They must have said at one time, what if we could make this thing fly? Or take Thomas Edison and his assistant Tesla. They must have said at one time, what if we can make a bulb light up a room? Oh, and let's not forget about Mr. Bell and his assistant, Mr. Watson. They had to have one time started to toy with the idea of, maybe even the question of, what if I could reproduce my voice to another person over a thin piece of wire? These are all examples of what I refer to as, an unrealistic what-if scenario. See, because certainly these what-if scenarios were undoubtedly considered unrealistic in the eyes of the general public for their respective times. Nevertheless, these great men were not deterred from taking the proper action to turn their what-if scenarios into reality in spite of the naysayers and the non-believers that were around them. So today, I publicly proclaim that no matter how silly or far-fetched the what-if scenario is, I will no longer tell my kids, shut up with that crazy talk. I'll try to keep a straight face and answer their question or patiently wait for them to work through their own scenario. After all, that's how we sent a man to the moon. Just a little FYI for you today. Hey, how about this? What if instead of making the day great, we made this day awesome? What if?